Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And jazakumullah khair everyone for joining. So today we have one of our keynotes. And actually, whatever came to my mind whenever I saw the title of the keynote, I remember the sentence that my sheikh used to say in the old days. ما ترك الأوائل من كلمات لقائل. Those who came before us, our predecessors, did not have room for anyone right now to do any contributions or to add. They have already covered everything. But now, once I see this kind of digital revolution and going from, the people in the old days, how much they spend time in carrying the Quran over, whether by text or whether by kind of narration. And I was wondering, what can we do as of now? But Alhamdulillah, we have the domain of digitization and moving to the digital world. There is a lot of room for us to add some contribution. So for this today, we have a talk that's titled The Importance of Digital Transformation for the Ummah and Humanity. أهمية التحول الرقمي للأمة والإنسانية. And our speaker for today is Professor Mohamed Ridza bin Wahiddin. And to give a quick introduction of Professor Ridza Wahiddin, and if I give detailed introduction, probably I'm going to take all the time. But Professor Mohamed Ridza, he was the 5th Vice Chancellor of the University of Saint Islam in Malaysia. Dr. Wahiddin received his PhD in theoretical physics and also a doctorate of science from University of Manchester Institute of Science and Technology. Also, Dr. Ridza, he kind of combined, the technical side and the Islamic study sides, and he has a diploma in Islamic studies from the International Islamic University in Malaysia. The research interests of Dr. Wahiddin include quantum optics, quantum information security, mathematical modeling, and human-computer interfacing. With this, I would like to turn it over to Dr. Wahiddin, and time for us to enjoy the talk of Dr. Wahiddin. Dr. Wahiddin, please.
So thank you once again, Prof. Muhammad Ali, for the introduction. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Very good afternoon over there. Over here is evening. So let me share the screen. Okay, can you see?
Yes, we can see the screen, yes.
All right. We are going to talk about digital transformation and the importance, how it will be impacting the Ummah as well as humanity, inshallah. And if we look into this, we'll be talking about the problem statement, followed by what we mean by digitization, followed by digitalization, and digital transformation, digital twins, metaverse, integrated approach to fast-track digital transformation, the missing ingredient, conclusion, and of course, Q&A. So roughly 5 minutes already gone. So we'll try to keep to the time. Right, the first thing is the problem statement. This is, I guess, not really constrained, special to Malaysia, but I think to all developing countries, including the Muslim countries. In Malaysia, we have our every 5-year plan. We call it a Malaysia plan. So we already now in the 12th Malaysia plan. And basically, since last year, is focusing on to resetting the economy, to rebuild the economy because of the pandemic, and a lot of things have already gone haywire. And these are the things that are causing problems to Malaysia, especially the economy. The first one is the low salaries or with low wages. The people of Malaysia, we are not getting our salaries, which has been quite stagnant for many years. And the reason for this low wages or low salaries income, take home income, is because of low productivity. Okay, low productivity is because of low innovation. So 1970s Malaysia, we have a lot of foreign investors, FDI coming to the country, but the manufacturing is more into labor-intensive kind of initiatives. They are not making use of the local talent in the sense of the our brains. It's more into the our hand and our feet. So at that point of time in the 1980s, if you go all over the world, people are talking about made in Malaysia. But unfortunately, it is manufactured. These things are manufactured in Malaysia, but not so much, the brain power that has gone into these manufactured goods. So the contribution of Malaysians in this aspect is quite minimal. So we are looking at enablers, how to change the situation. So there's no other way but to have a fast adoption of technology and innovation enhancement. So there has to be some kind of smart partnership between the industry and the academia. Right. So first of all, sometimes we interchange the usage of the word digitization and digitalization. Actually, they are not the same. Digitization is about converting analog into digital. Okay, so a lot of things have been happening in the 1980s. The creation of CD-ROMs, and then we are able to store a lot of information instead of printed papers. So we're able to convert it into digital data. So that is what we call as digitization. Digital, on the other hand, if we talk about digitalization, it is about how do we automate our business processes, operations. Okay, so this is going beyond the first phase just now, digitization. Digitalization is about how we make use of digitization to automate the business processes, and then this can actually improve productivity. And then we have also digital transformation. So this is different from digitization, digitalization, because it's involving a new business model, leveraging on knowledge. So this slide here summarizes the differences between digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation. So if you look at it, when we focus on digitization, it's about data conversion from analog to digital, whereas for digitalization, it's about information processing, followed by digital transformation. We talk about knowledge leveraging. Okay, in terms of goal, for digitization, it's about change analog to digital format. For digitalization, we talk about automate existing business operation and processes. Whereas for digital transformation, we talk about change company's culture, the way it works and thinks. So to give an example about digital transformation is, when we have one of our colleagues leaving the organization, so often what happens is that the experience, the tacit knowledge within the mind of this person who is leaving is not well documented. So it's in the form of implicit knowledge. Therefore, when the person leaves the organization, his experience and knowledge goes with him, right? Whether he left the organization because of illness, because of death, or finding a new job, that will impact the organization. So this is where knowledge management comes into play. And that means it's going beyond automating the processes. So in terms of challenges, if we look under digitization, it's about the volume. The volume, because the storage, how much can we store the information that we have converted from analog to digital? Whereas for information processing, for example, for procurement, we have special software and then all those things. It's about pricing the cost of purchasing those softwares. And then in terms of digital transformation, the challenge is resistant to change, okay? Which means within the organization, when you try to have something new, there is usually resistance to introduce something, processes, a kind of business model, and the people will become anxious, and you may have this kind of resistance. Okay, so at the bottom here, we see example of digitization. You scan paper-based registration form if you want to have organizing a conference. So initially at that phase, we scan the paper-based registration form, followed by the next phase, digitalization, is completely electronic registration process. So nowadays we can see this kind of things happening. And the highest level is digital transformation, everything electronic, from registration to content delivery. So when we talk about digital transformation, it is where you leverage on knowledge so that you innovate new ways of doing things, engaging your customers, okay, introducing new, not only processes, but in terms of services and products. So it's not just about automating. Automation is in the second phase, which involves digitalization. Now, one of the consequences of digital transformation is the technology that comes with it, which is, I mean, we are now quite well versed in terms of Internet of Things, cloud, and so on. But one of the latest is about digital twins. And a digital twin is a digital representation of physical object, process, or service. It can be a digital replica of an object in the physical world, such as a jet engine or wind farms, even larger items such as buildings or even whole cities. So you can have the digital twin of these physical things. So a digital twin is in essence a computer program that uses real-world data to create simulations that can predict how a product or process will perform. These programs can integrate the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and software analytics to enhance the output. And what are the benefits of digital twins? With the advancement of machine learning and factors such as big data, these virtual models have become a staple in modern engineering to drive innovation and improve performance. In short, creating one can allow the enhancement of strategic technology trends, prevent costly failures in physical objects, and also by using advanced analytical monitoring and predictive capabilities, test processes, as well as services. All right, examples of digital twins in action today. We have the Idaho National Laboratory, where they make use of digital twins to monitor and control reactor designs. So it's not only about predictive kind of ability, but it can also real-time monitoring. So this is one of the applications of digital twins. They can actually look at what will happen if you have certain cyber threats coming in, and also at the same time monitor to have sensors at critical places to see anything that goes wrong that can be, rectified real time. So another one example is the prosthetics. Okay, the digital twin version of prosthetics here means you can customize, personalize these limbs of the human beings, the artificial limbs, more accurately and more convenient, because you are taking the data live from the patient, him or herself. Another example is smart buildings. I think most of us are already quite aware about having sensors at critical places and having this data flowing in and out, and then you have 24/7 kind of thing, as well as predictive analytics. Another example of digital twins is in agriculture, so increasing the crop yield and using, smart farming techniques. Right. So an example also here is our SI unit of measurement in terms of getting the new standard for the kilogram. So previously, 100 years ago, until around 2019, May 20th, 2019, the way we standardize the kilogram is we will send our representative, every country will send a representative to bring the artifact from Malaysia, from Saudi, from Algeria, from America to Paris, okay, somewhere in Paris, in France. And if you see in this slide, you will compare what you have with the one that is existing in the laboratory in France. So you will send this artifact that we have in Malaysia to say there is 1 kilogram to have the standard, compared to the one that is being saved in France. Every several years we'll go there to compare. But since 2019, May 20th, 2019, this has changed, because with the usage of what they call as the quantum effect, quantum physics, you can now come up with a Keeble balance. So the Keeble balance means that you can have the kilogram to have the measurement without having to come to France, and you no longer need to come to France. You can do it in your home country. So if you want a less accurate one, even using Lego, you can have uncertainty accuracy of 1%. But the more serious one will be something like this in the slide. This one here is in NIST in US. So I think among the Muslim countries, I think Turkey has already have it now. I don't think Malaysia has it yet. I'm not sure, but I don't think so. The Keeble balance. Okay, so this is how the latest development, you can have your own standard kilogram measurement by not comparing it with something else in France, for example. 100 years ago, since 100 years ago, that's what we've been doing. So now you can actually have your own standard. It's the same everywhere, all over the world, if you use this Keeble balance. Now, the relationship is that in the Keeble balance itself, you have digital twins, because there are about 90 uncertainty components, even within the Keeble balance. So I was talking about digital twins, and in this apparatus itself, you can actually make use of digital twins to make sure that your measurement is accurate. Okay, so even something like this, you can even have up to 90 uncertainty components. For example, here you have the stability of the voltmeter, resistor used to measure voltage and current in a coil. So you may apply the concept of digital twin to improve the accuracy of this balance. Now, then the need to have these digital twins to be realized, there is this new profession, what we call as the technology translator. So this technology translator will play the role, the in-between. It's not language translator, but it's technology translator. Okay, the role of technology translator is to create your awareness about, for example, digital twins, and then to educate the stakeholders what are the things that are necessary to fulfill the requirements of this technology, as well as go between the bridging between the C-level decision makers, the CEO, the CFO in the organization, as well as the statistician, the techie, those people who are really specializing in the science and technology. So when we talk about digital twins, there is a new profession called technology translators, where it will become the interface to translate the mathematician, whatever they want to explain. This technology translator will take this information and translate it so that the CEO, the CFO, the COO will be able to understand and therefore make important decisions. So by the advent of this kind of digital twin, we can see the introduction of new jobs. In this case, I'm giving an example of technology translators. All right, now I move quickly into the negative side about digital transformation.
And actually, Dr. Wahiddin, just a reminder, we have 5 minutes. I just want to make sure also we give the audience some time to ask whatever question in their minds.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I'll go very quickly. We talk about the challenges of having digital transformation, and that is, when we talk about digital twins, you can also have the evil digital twin. In this case, the person who is doing something bad will be able to pretend to become you. Okay, so we call it evil digital twin. So according to the recent research, this kind of thing will be more dangerous in the metaverse. Okay, the metaverse is the upgraded version of the social media that we have a flat platform today. It will become more immersive by using the virtual reality as well as augmented reality. So the way to actually make sure that we are able to realize the digital transformation is to adopt the quintuple helix approach. That is, we need to work together as a smart partnership between the academia, the government, the industry, civil society, as well as the environment. But the missing ingredient, okay, while we talk about the smart partnership, we need to have something to guide as a principle, the value-laden, value-based. And this is what we call an insan Rabbani. Okay, so the people that will actually make sure that we have a very successful and something that is, bringing humanity and the Ummah to please Allah SWT is those people who adopt and practice the philosophy of Islamic education. Because just like any technology, whether it's digital transformation, metaverse, or whatever, we need to have the values to guide the decision that we want to make. So in the case, we're talking about the Insan Rabbani. So these people should have education that's based on Tawhidic approach, the objective of developing, generating virtuous cadres and cadres in holistic, integrated, balanced, and dynamic system, guided by Al-Quran and Al-Sunnah. So in conclusion, if we want to have digital transformation that is meaningful, so we need to try and address the resistance that I talked about earlier within the organization. We need to ensure that the organization understands what are the things that we want to bring, the changes that we want to adopt and adapt. and then create awareness and educate the stakeholders about the emergence of new professions, just like the one I gave just now, technology translators. Nurture more technology translators in the case for preparing digital twins. It's not the technology that we should be worried about, but rather those people, especially the big corporations like, now we are aware about Meta, Apple, and those kind of things. They are the ones, the people behind it, that we are more worried about, not the technology so much. So, and then the missing ingredient here, we don't have much time to explain, is the values that is going to make sure that technology is guided instead of money, and some form of control is needed when we go into, especially like a metaverse. So I think that's the time that has been given. Had to rush.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Dr. Wahiddin. That was really amazing. Really, I enjoyed the talk so much. And now probably we can have time for a question or two from the audience. I don't know how much is going around the minds of the audience. At least from my side, I have one question, but yeah, let's get started. Are there any questions from the audience side? So till they bring up questions, if they have any, let me ask you one question, Dr. Wahiddin. You have talked about, the metaverse, and we have seen few talks during the conference regarding metaverse, and we heard a lot about the investment in metaverse. But then recently we have seen companies working in this domain, like Meta, which was previously known as Facebook, laying off the employees working in this domain. So based on your global view, what do you think the future of the metaverse? Do you think that this investment is going to continue? Was this an over promise? Is it going to have a setback, or is it going to flourish and move forward? What do you think, Dr. Wahiddin?
Okay, thank you, Prof. Mohamed. In my opinion, these big corporations like Meta, they knew the risk, and they knew that they are putting a lot of money in it. And the first few years is just putting the money, billions of, for example, 10 billion US, is something like going into a deep hole. Perhaps there's nothing there at the end of the hole. But in my opinion, these are just investments that it will bear fruit within the 10 years from now. So the thing is, the technology is marvelous. But as I said in my presentation, is those people who are investing like Meta, because the way we are using even the social media right now is we don't subscribe, for example, to YouTube. It's free. So what is the business model for the users? It's none other that we are forced to see all those unwanted advertisements. See, that kind of thing is worrying, because when we have this metaverse and we are not subscribing, so some form of regulation is needed. But what is the way forward? That is the big question.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wahiddin. So I think we are 2 minutes over time, and I know we have a session next to us. So if anyone has question, please feel free to reach out to Dr. Wahiddin. Thank you very much, Dr. Wahiddin, and I give it back to Dr. Akram to continue the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.